And then you never, ever
Never.
forget about it. Well,
You
it
don't.
was, I don't. Well, I did forget until now. I'm not like thinking about it all the time, but now that we're here, I was like, oh,
Yeah, I'll make sure. It's recording right now. Are you
yeah,
ready?
recording it right now. I'm Kate. Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Feast
Sheath.
and Shatter.
Is it hot in here or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter. It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
All right.
Ooh, if Matt ever joins us, does he get to be the third girl in the theme song?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
He would not care at all.
No, not at all. And again, Hannah is on she has found love, a fated mate. She's doing her own thing. Will she join us again? Maybe. She's
We'll
here in
see.
spirit. She's here in
Yeah.
spirit. She's a little bit sad that she didn't get to read this book with us because this week or this month or this quarter, we are going to be
This episode of busy people with busy lives who also
busy
like
people,
to talk
busy lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are talking about one that I think this is my request.
Yes.
But I feel like you were open to this one.
Yes. Yeah, I've been wanting to read this.
So Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman is what we're going to be talking about today. I read this entire series. I'm completely caught up. I think you've read one book.
Correct. One book. The first one. The one that we read for this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really fun series. It's doing really well. It's also neon. So it goes really well next to ACOTAR on the shelves.
Oh, nice.
Which is really important.
They
right?
match. Yeah.
They do. They're the neon books.
Mm-hmm.
There's an 8th book coming out shortly. I liked this series so much that I joined Matt Dinniman's. That's his last name, right? Dinniman?
Yeah, I think so. Dinniman. I'm pretty sure.
I joined his Patreon because he writes he puts them on Patreon and then has people vote on what happened.
Oh, so like a choose your own adventure book.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about this book?
Oh, it's kind of
describe it.
It's a lit RPG, but it's a lit RPG that's funny.
It is funny. A little
It's pretty funny.
It's funny.
It like Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman with the of course the entire name of their series has fled my mind, but they're like the original lit RPG authors and they did Dungeons and Dragons. This is more of like a modern video game style of a kind of a lit RPG. And we follow a character named Carl and his cat, who's not his cat. It's his soon to be, but is now ex-girlfriend's cat named Donut. And it starts off.
I'm so sorry, but no, that is not her name.
Do you want her full name?
I want her full name.
You have to
remember it.
Okay, I know it's best in Dungeon.
It's Princess Donut, the Queen and Chunk.
Yes.
First in show. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, it starts off pretty dramatic because he goes outside to get the cat who has escaped the house and everything on the planet flattens all at once. And his neighbor's head like rolls to his feet. And then there's an announcement that's like, hey, it's time to start the game. We're going to open some stairways. You guys need to go down into the dungeon and you'll be playing our game. And so he goes down into the dungeon with Donut because he's not wearing shoes and it's cold outside. And
he has on 2 small Crocs.
Yes. Yeah. 2 Crocs, a leather jacket, his underwear, and a t-shirt. And that's it.
Yeah.
And so he goes down into the dungeon and then hijinks ensue. And that's pretty much the plot.
Right. It's like the Hunger Games and every kind of action-packed book ever kind of put together. It's
Yeah.
actually really like the tone of it is funny, but it's actually kind of terrifying. And I remember reading it the first time and thinking, wow, this is an incredibly traumatizing experience. And he is feeling that, but he's also having to repress it because what's happened is a giant universal corporation that the earth wasn't even aware of thousands and thousands of years ago brought humans to the planet and has been preparing the planet for this game for millennia.
Right. It kind of reminded me of the beginning of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when they're going to bulldoze the planet. And they're like, you can't bulldoze the planet. And they're like, well, the plans have been on file at Alpha Centauri for the last 200 years. It's your fault. You didn't go and look at them.
Because they didn't know that was real.
Yeah, like you had time to contest them and you didn't, so.
Right. I will say, I don't think this book is perfect. I think it's a really great time, and I think it does a lot of things really well, and it's very enjoyable. But the first time I did read it, it was the first book I had read written by a man in a long time. And so I immediately noticed some things that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like immediately his girlfriend is some like butthole cheating on him, goes down to the Bahamas.
Gonna get rid
her
of the
ex-boyfriend. Gonna get rid of the cat. Beatrice, B. And Carl is this guy that has nothing to do with it. And that's fine. That's fine. There are lots of things that happen in this book where I'm like, oh, that's really fucking fat phobic, but okay.
Yeah. I did think it took a good 2/3 of the book for him to nail the tone. He wanted to have a tone. And here, I should not have, like, I listened to the audiobook because I know it's super popular because the audiobook is really well put together. And it was fine. I enjoyed the reader, who sounds exactly like Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he had a hard time nailing the tone for me, and I ended up having to ditch the audiobook and read my way through several parts because I wanted it read darker, and he read it like the entire thing was a joke. So we get to that scene where the overweight Hispanic lady crawls out of the trash and starts saying stuff like, please don't kill me. I have children. Do you know where my children are? And he graphically kills her, and he in no way wrestles with whether or not he should kill. Like, he just kills her. And it's a very, like, that's not the later. It's a different tone when he's fighting some of the later enemies and he realizes, well, he hasn't realized yet, but I'm sure these are probably people from the real world that have been mutated or whatever, people who chose not to go into the stairs. But he in no way wrestled. He didn't even think about it. He's like, oh, that's weird. And he just kills her.
And it's so interesting because I am not a video game player and I wish I was. I don't have the hand-eye coordination. I am an elder millennial that grew up with Nintendo, and I grew up in a house of girls. So we never had video games. Now, I love watching like World of Warcraft and what's that game that's come out recently? Baldur's Gate, you know, and I would love to be able to play those, but I just don't have the hand-eye for it. It's actually miserable for me to try and play video games. So there's some mechanic stuff happening in these books that I had to really get to know and understand. But Carl knew all of that stuff right away.
Yeah.
And I think I was distracted somewhat by that until this second read at moments like that.
The first 2/3, you can tell it's an indie book. That's the most indie book moment, because if you clock it on the audiobook, it is a full 2.5 hour long audio info dump. When he
Right.
finally gets in the training guild and Mordecai is talking to him, it is a full fucking 2.5 hours. And if you don't play video games and you don't know, then you need all that. But you could have worked it in. You could have had Carl be, he's already supposed to be like a buff military dude. You
Right.
could have just had him uninterested in video games. And then
So he was learning.
and then he would have learned it at a slower pace instead of
Right.
this was like it's the tutorial part that every video game player hates because it's the first chunk of the game where they have to give you all the information and we're going to revisit it later, but like we just want to get it all out right now. And to sit through that in a book was painful.
Well,
that
and
was a hard part.
I am grateful, and having read all of them, understanding the mechanics, I feel like are misunderstanding or not caring enough to understand the mechanics impacts it a little bit, but not enough to not enjoy the story. So the info dumping is like, I don't really care because I'm not really going to keep up with it. You're going to continue to tell me how many trillions of followers they have. All the emotional development and growth, which there's a ton of. And that is why the series does so well. It's not just the gameplay. It's because these characters truly do have an immense storyline. Even from the beginning of this, I mean, Princess Donut starts off, let's go back. She starts off just a pet. She enters because she enters the dungeon with Carl. She then becomes a player, not a pet, not an accessory, not a personal property, not chattel. She is a player.
Yeah.
And then the moment that they get a pet snack or a pet magical pet biscuit that turns her into a sentient being. And it was a good move for the book. It made the princess, she's what makes the book. But her development throughout the story, realizing that she's like new to being a sentient creature, Carl going in, and he is traumatized, but he's just doing his best. But he's also a little bit misogynistic.
There were definitely a couple of moments. That's what
And
I'm
I was
saying.
like, this is written by a bro.
And it was pretty front loaded. Like by the time you get to the end, he has moved through some of that. I always think these are at their best when the character is not like OP, if you want to use a video game term, when he's not over leveled, which he is at the very beginning because he enters with an already high strength. So towards the end where everyone's more on an equal playing field and he has to think his way through the challenges, it gets a lot better.
So you think he leveled up a little bit?
He does, because even Mordecai says like you have a higher than average strength score
because he was a larger than average, like
dude.
Stronger than average dude.
And because the AI has a foot fetish.
Foot fetish. It is hilarious how quickly Donut becomes stronger and more powerful than him, though.
Yes.
With the exception of her dexterity and constitution.
Her constitution. Yeah.
Which
so she has really low hit points. Yeah.
Yeah. She has the laser beam from far away.
Right.
Yeah.
I did like the magic missile from the eyeball. From the
absolutely. Well, and it is very, I don't know where I was going with that. I lost my thought. But
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it fits the character because the character is super male. That's why I think
he is your, you know who he reminds me of? Let me just be for real. I dated a guy who looks just like Carl. 6'3", 250 to 280, depending on how big he's squatting that week. Like big guy, big fucking dude. And one time this guy I worked with told me, hey, that guy is so out of your league. Because to him, my boyfriend was peak male gaze. And he thinks that's female gaze. But like, it's not necessarily, he was almost too big, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Women that's not what we're all looking. We're not looking for Thors, we're looking for Lokis. It was kind of that deal. Anyways, It was one of the meanest things anyone's ever said to me. And he said it to me so matter-of-factly. And I was like, well, bitch, I have a personality. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But, I'm not that unattractive, but whatever. Anyways, he's just like that. And it reminded me of how nerds think women want, or like what men think peak physicality and masculinity should look.
Yeah.
That is who Carl goes in as.
Right. And then the audiobook
I
giver.
don't do drama. B went down to the Bahamas with her boyfriend. I don't do drama.
Yeah. And then the audiobook reader just made it worse. Like, because he sounds like Patrick Warburton. And I just couldn't. I couldn't, because I didn't I was already struggling with the Carl character, and I knew he was supposed to be like that, and I was trying to just ride with it, but I had to ditch the audiobook and go to the book. And once I did, it reads so much darker than it sounds.
That's actually a really great point, and I haven't heard anybody say that, because so many people are in love with the way Jeff Hayes does all these voices. But I agree. I don't like the way he plays Princess Donut. His voices are caricatures of women.
Yeah.
It is very much caricatures. No one gets a truly like authentic voice. Maybe Carl, but he still sounds a lot older. But I totally agree with you on that, and I think that makes a great point. I think it is a pretty dark book with some pretty dark themes.
It's apocalyptic. Like, people are dying. Millions of people are dying.
Millions.
By the end of it, there's less than 1 million crawlers.
And then and we're not even talking about the people that died. It was daytime some places, so they had a better shot of survival. But, can you imagine? I always like to think, would I have made the initial? No, I'd have been in bed reading a book. I would not have, unless it was one of those random nights my dogs got sprayed by a skunk and I was outside washing them at 3 a.m. But what time is 3 a.m. here in Portland? Or 2:23 would be what time
Aren't
here?
they 3 hours behind us?
Yeah, so it would have been what, 11? Wait, 12, 11?
Yeah.
Here. So maybe I'm outside spraying off the skunk on my dogs, random night. Right? Maybe. And then
then you got to get really comfortable with killing people real quick. Well, killing things real quick.
Really fast. Yeah.
Which would be
really fast.
Really hard to do. And then it's a social media thing where people are watching you and you have to be like splashy about it so that you can attract followers. And then he goes on that talk show where he will not stop describing the woman's very large breasts.
You can't see me, but I'm rolling my eyes to the point where they got stuck.
That was not helped again by the audiobook voice. It was so
Odette, who is also a person of color from a human planet, with her giant boobs and her praying mantis crab body.
Right.
And it is a costume. But
yeah, it is. Because she steps out of the boobs, but they slosh. They jiggle.
But I do find myself making excuses for the world, because what we're looking at is, one, stereotypes.
Yeah.
Stereotypes of the world. But if they had planted human seeds and have been here that long, wouldn't their take on humanity be a little bit more nuanced? Or is it just not? It's like if the person that wrote, what was that fucking show called? The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Wrote a reality show for the world. So in some ways, when we get to the hoarder and we get to this, the Spanish lady, isn't she the hoarder?
Yeah.
That feels a little racist and a little fat phobic, but it also, I could see how from a bird's eye view, somebody might think that that's what humanity looks like in the United States.
And they are intended to be, Mordecai says that later, that they've been studying humanity because they have to, not humanity specifically, but Earth culture, because they have to present Earth culture to the universe as a whole. And so in order to give it impact, they dial it all up to its stereotypes.
And it would make a lot of sense if all of the people who write the shows and are in charge of all that are just all men. There's
Yeah.
just no women anywhere.
It feels a lot like when you get a really popular show here and then you get these like podcasts and YouTube videos and things that all crop up around it that are like after show and commentary and
Right.
where you get a whole industry that is not the show, but it is a commentary on the show. And then you have this like universe required because companies trade off, but they have to put on these special dungeon crawler seasons.
Right.
And so it is a thing that it's like Survivor. It's been on forever.
Yeah, forever.
Everybody comes on
used to
every
it.
year. Everybody watches it.
I do think the Red Pill show that is a point of huge contention for them is really funny with the orc, which I hate you for making the orc the bad guy. Come on. That's like my species. My
The one where
preferred species.
they
With
make
the maestro and the orc prince is like glurp glurp, and it's basically a red pill show for 12 to 13-year-old adolescent boys that's about killing, and he calls them their little piglets.
Yeah.
And basically it's about being absolutely horrible and terrible.
Right. And then they make a AI video of Carl having sex with that guy.
And they made sure to mention that they were very gracious in his proportions.
Yeah. It's like, of course they were.
Yeah, of course
I do like.
Well, the AI has a crush on him, and Carl has this idea that maybe the AI did it, which is very interesting that the AI does have its own personality.
Yeah.
And the AI plays a very important character, and the AI is making some very choices.
Yeah.
In the way that it like decides that Carl will not have shoes.
Yeah.
It decides that Carl's feet will be his main weapon. God, I would be so mad if I had to be that close to the danger to do the thing.
And the part where he
like,
reads it, like
make
the
me
AI
a dark elf in the back. Yeah, I can't.
The part where the AI reads the achievement like it's masturbating at the same time.
Right. It's funny. It is funny.
Like,
Carl's
I mean,
so grossed
it's
out.
fine.
There's also some like the sexual harassment. You know, it feels very 2010.
I was going to say,
out?
I had to
when was it released?
I had to dial back my
wokeness,
a little bit to be able to get
know.
through the AI is attracted to Carl, and so he has to play into its attraction in order to advance. And I was like,
well, sometimes men need to find out what that's like.
I just need to breathe through this. Like, I know he's playing it for laughs. I'm trying to. It's a survival situation.
2020.
Oh,
I mean, I just think, yeah, and he's from Portland. He's from maybe this. I don't know. Married guy, you know.
I was talking about this with another friend who's read it, and I said I feel like Matt Dinniman thinks that Shallow Hal is Jack Black's favorite movie or best movie.
Probably. That's what it does. It definitely feels
like
that.
That was what I was like, that's where he peaked and that's where he's living, because that's what the humor feels like.
It
and
does.
if you can you can turn back into that 2010 self where you saw nothing wrong with the fact that Inner Beauty is a size 0, then it's pretty funny. But really, he does get, like, it does get better. Carl gets better.
So. And Carl changes a lot, even more. Like, it does actually change a lot, even after this book. But Carl has these glimpses, like, there's these moments of intense depth of emotion from him that I really like seeing. When he's just about to lose his mind and he's, you're not going to break me. You're not going to break me. It's such a stoic man thing to do anyways. Mm-hmm. You're not going to, it's very machismo. I'm so sorry I have so much noise going on. But I can't turn it off on the laptop. Or the computer. But yeah, it's there. He's traumatized, but he's just trying to do what he can to survive. And I wonder what kind of human being can actually get through something like this. It ain't me. That's for damn sure.
I know I'm always the first to say if there's an apocalypse, I'm going to be the one that dies while everything's still good.
Take me now.
Yeah.
Take me now, zombies. Take me now.
What am I fighting for? What are y'all fighting so hard for? For what?
Survival, right. And you know what's so funny, Rachel, is that you're probably actually not like that. Hold on a second. Let me get these little dogs. Hey, I need you to stop. They brought me a gift.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. Honestly, I could see you being a pretty bad bitch.
I mean, I could survive, but like, I gotta know I'm surviving for something other than
You have
survival.
kids. You have kids.
Yeah.
That motherness would kick in. Me, I'd be like, come on, dogs. Let's
Walking
go.
into the sunset.
Walking into the zombie horde. Yeah.
I mean, I did like this book. I liked it a lot. I liked it by the last 20%. I will say I struggled through the first major chunk of it. I think because of the huge info dump, which I felt was unnecessary. And then I was trying to remind myself this is an indie book. He didn't have an editor probably when he first went through this one. The super racist first boss was a hard sell. And then he kept giving us these moments where he would attempt to humanize the villains. And then Carl would just straight up murder them all. Like there's the part where he's talking to is it the goblins that make him the bike?
Oh, yeah.
And
he makes friends with them, and he's like got a goblin, and he has a goblin pass.
Yeah, and he says that the goblins are like, we just dream that someday we'll get far enough into the dungeon that there will be no crawlers, and we'll be able to live in peace, and no one will come and kill us anymore, and we'll finally be free. And he's like, oh, cool story, bro. And then he starts a gang rivalry with the drug dealing llamas.
Yeah, he like introduces heroin to them, methamphetamines to them. Yeah. And it goes back and forth, especially in that first book, between like immense humanity and connection instantly to kill, 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 kill.
Yeah.
Kill, kill, kill.
And it would have been fine if you just left them all bugs. Like if the whole first 2 floors are just increasingly terrible bugs. Or you give me like Carl actually thinking about, we don't get a lot of, Carl didn't think a whole lot. Carl just reacts to the things that are happening around him. So I would have to supply the internal angst for the first part of the book because he doesn't really show any. And as we know, I'm terrible at giving a character things that the author doesn't tell me they have. So when he kills the hoarder, he kills all the goblins that he befriended. He's like, well, anyway, guess I'll go find some stairs. Yeah. The only time he really has any kind of emotional reaction is when he meets those 2 crawlers that have like a skull next to their name because they've killed other crawlers. Like when he finds that dead body and he's like, oh no, she was fine and then she was killed. That's crazy. And he describes her tattoos and they're really beautiful.
Right.
And then he's immediately back to like, well, I'm going to murder them before they murder me. Tee-hee! And then he like runs off.
Right.
And then when we met,
just dumb enough to survive.
When we met the old people, I was like, oh my God, that's when I had to switch from the audiobook to the book. I was like, I can't make it through these old people all dying. I can't.
Well, when the old man pulls out his dick to pee because he's probably got Alzheimer's and doesn't remember that everyone's going to die, and then a level 93 rage demon pops out, that's really hard. I like kind of skip that part. Because it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. Well, and then Frank and Maggie's story, I think its name is Frank, right? Frank and Maggie Mai. Yeah. Their story's really sad. It's a really sad story. She had to kill her daughter.
Yeah. We don't know why yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really sad. And I don't know, it's heavy, but it's also light and it's fun and it's enjoyable. But it's also like when you think about it a little bit deeper, It doesn't pass some tests, probably
Yeah.
the Bechdel test. Is that what it's called?
Bechdel test.
The Bechdel test, the Bushel test, the Bechdel test doesn't do that. Well, maybe it will later, but I don't know. It's a really fun book, but it's also there. If you do think about it too hard, you're like, well, why could you not understand? You can hear an alien language fluently in your mind. However, you couldn't understand the Spanish that the first hoarder was speaking,
Yeah.
where she was crying for your help.
Yeah. And he just kills her, and he doesn't revisit that.
Well, he does. I have an echo. Do you hear my echo?
Nope.
Oh, okay. He does when he kills all the babies. And the AI was like, "You just kidding, they go to a safe space. Just kidding. No, they don't."
Yeah.
And the AI is truly rage baiting him.
Yeah.
Because he does have, what do you mean? We just blew up a thing of baby goblins? Yeah. You did. You did.
Yeah.
And then the swine sex ball. Like it's orgies, hoarders, a roided out guy.
Yeah.
You know, he really did. He didn't have to reach too far for some of the stuff in the first book. And then I forget that the first book is 3 levels.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad it is. So you're not like level by level, because I don't know how many books he's going to write, but I think the idea is that Carl does get down. I mean, you know, at this book, you're like, I hope you burn the whole system to the ground, brother.
Well, I can tell you, reading this book, unless something changes, I know exactly how this entire series will end, because Mordecai says it the very first time that we meet him. He says, nobody's ever made it to the final level. And if you do, here's all the stuff you get. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, now I know how it ends.
Right. And only one person can leave.
Yeah.
Which means that Donut and Carl would have to choose. No, thank you. No, thanks.
I mean,
that might be the book I skip, because I'm not killing my cat.
Well, did Donut get more time? Like, is Donut now will Donut live as long as a human? Mm-hmm. Or will Donut still live cat years? Because if Donut stays in the dungeon, Donut gets to live until it's time to leave the dungeon. Because like Mordecai's been there for centuries.
That's a good point. Well, there you go. There's the 10th, 11th book.
We'll find out, I guess.
Amazed. Yeah, you just solved the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, that really is it. And you know that from the beginning. So you're like, well, Carl's definitely gonna make it down.
Yeah.
I think they're on, I won't tell you that.
It's fine. I'm just glad I made it through the old people part, even though he leaves them behind.
Right.
After a while, I was still like, okay, well.
And then the old lady sexually harassing him. I was like, can we just, I mean, that's funny, I guess. You know what it feels like? It just feels like bro-y humor that doesn't realize that it is a little bit like, you're kind of like continuing to uplift some norms that we kind of shouldn't have anymore.
Yeah.
But you know what? But it's funny. Ha ha ha.
And then the unhoused lady with the shopping cart, and he never questions anything about her. He's just like, wow, it's weird that nobody's attacking her. That's strange. Or, wow, I put her shopping cart in my inventory and now I have these secret extra items that I didn't know were in there.
Well, until the end, and that's like one of the twists.
Yeah.
One of the twists is, who is Angela? Isn't that her name?
Agatha?
Agatha. Yeah. Who's Agatha?
And
why is she so weird?
He makes him very smart in some situations and also very unobservant in every other situation.
Yeah, he has to for the plot.
Yeah, like he can strategize how to defeat this ball of sex pigs, but he can't think through Can't think through Agatha in any way.
He
Okay,
will.
that's
He learns to spot the weakness in every boss he ever comes into contact with, but don't ask him to tell you what a lady felt.
no. I know, and as soon as Mordecai's like, "Well, just think about it. You'll know what their weakness is. You just have to think about it." He's like, from that moment on, he pegs it immediately. When he goes to the dingoes. I did like when he found all the dingoes and he gave them all pet biscuits and made them his friends.
Yeah.
And then the like rabid hamster character thing.
Mongo's really cute too.
I did like Mongo.
Mongo's really sweet. Looks like a little chicken, just like we're in the Stormlight archives. But it's not a chicken. It's a dinosaur. It's a velociraptor. And I love that they gave it feathers because velociraptors could have had feathers.
Yeah. I did like Mongo. And I like that Donut picked Mongo immediately.
That's mine, Carl.
She was like, that one, Carl.
Yeah. You know who I want to play who in my mind is the most charismatic person I've ever seen and I think would make an amazing donut is Keke Palmer. You know who that is?
I think so.
She's just literally the most charismatic person I've ever seen. She can talk to anybody in the most eloquently funny way you've ever heard. And I just think that character deserves someone like that. Anyways, so Seth MacFarlane bought this series. So at some point, I'm hoping it becomes it would be a great cartoon.
Who would be Carl?
In my mind, he's the guy from The Night Agent. Have you seen that show? Let me look his name up.
I did start watching The Mandalorian, so I've got that going for me.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So amazing.
I made it through the first season.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What'd you think?
If I'd known Werner Herzog was in the first season, I'd have watched it a lot sooner. Werner Herzog cracks me the fuck up. I love him in everything he's in. He had an Instagram channel. I don't know if he still does, but he had one for a while, and it was the most Werner Herzog Instagram channel. It'd be like him cooking a steak on a fire and talking about the meaning of the universe. He's like,
I'm glad
you see, I'm just cooking this steak, but and I guess he made them
really. Why are we even here?
I guess he made him do the puppet for Baby Yoda. They were gonna do CG, and he was like, "No, puppet only."
Puppet only.
He was like, "It is so beautiful." I guess he told them it was too beautiful to waste.
Yeah, isn't it a beautiful show? It's one of the first shows that used a volume, and it's just so good.
Yeah.
So good. And knowing that Pedro Pascal is running around with his very handsome self in his very handsome, masculine, not talking, it's my favorite quality in men is when they don't talk.
Just keep your helmet on and shh.
Stand there and make sure I'm safe.
Yeah.
Guard me. That's all. Thank you. Opinions aren't for you. Opinions are for me.
I mean, to get back to Carl, I think the most interesting thing to me was he kept having these seeds of he wanted this to be a dark comedy. He desperately wanted this to be a dark comedy, but to be a dark comedy, you have to lean into the darkness so that when the comedy pops up, it's
funnier.
It's funnier, but he leans too heavily into the comedy. And then when the dark shit pops up, you're like, the fuck, Matt? What are you talking about? Like he meets the old people. And I'm going to keep coming back to that scene because I literally had to turn the audiobook off. I was like, I can't listen to that. I can't listen to Patrick Warburton, wannabe reader guy, boppy, happy, talk me through all of these old people dying. But we meet that one character who's super high level because she had to like mercy kill a bunch of the old people.
Oh, that guy. I didn't know who Patrick Warburton was till this moment. Now I do.
Yeah.
The Tick. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the New Groove. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was he the brother? Wasn't he the brother in something?
He has, I think he might be in the Guinness World Book of Records for having the most different, like the most character voices. Like he has the same voice for everything, but the most animated characters that he's voiced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
Isn't he? Who is he in Family Guy? Is he the dog?
He's not the dog. He's probably random characters.
Okay.
But
Okay,
if you heard his
okay.
voice, you'd be like, oh, that guy. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, Brian the dog is Seth MacFarlane. I think.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
If
Sorry.
you would know. Like if you heard his voice, he sounds like the guy
Yeah,
who
no,
reads.
I know exactly who you're talking about. The moment I
Yeah.
saw his picture, I know exactly who you mean.
Right.
It's
But
like deep and whispery sounding.
Yeah.
It does
But also
sound like that.
you've forced me to resort to chemical warfare. Like he does that voice for everything. Like
Right.
but we meet that character who had to mercy kill a bunch of old people.
Right.
And so she's super high level because
Imani. Because she had to, because
she had to kill them, and it just pops out of nowhere and you're like, the fuck? And then we're immediately back to like the old lady harassing him and the other guy trying to pee in the hallway and ha ha hee hee. Isn't this fun?
I didn't think the pee in the hallway thing was funny at all. To me, it didn't feel intentional. It felt Alzheimer's or Alzheimer-y.
This was a moment where you introduced this huge cast of characters who are obviously never going to make it to the center. So you're going to have to make choices. And so you gave us this really dark ass moment. And it's played for, he's like describing the weird purple head on the guy's dick. And it's so weirdly toned. I don't know. I was like, how do you want me to feel right now? Because I just feel a little grossed out about how you're treating this moment. Because realistically, if this guy is constantly peeing in the hallway, they have told you that if anyone pees in the hallway, you will summon like a level 99 rage elemental.
Right.
Realistically, you have to do something with that guy. You have to leave him in a safe zone. You have to
lock him in a bathroom.
Mercy kill him like you did the other ones to save everybody else. Like a decision would immediately have to be made, and you've set up these characters who have made these decisions, and then you don't have them do it so that you can play it for laughs when it pops up. And he does get everybody into a safe zone.
Well, and then the rage elemental is how they get onto the glurp glurp show.
Yeah, because they end up taking out the rage elemental.
Which is wild. But of course, they're going to, because they're the most epic team that's ever lived. I would love to have, I probably should go back and read this without listening to the audiobook, because it probably is a lot darker. It's very gory. It's very dark. Yes. And if you don't have someone setting the tone for you, how does the tone naturally read? It probably is really, really dark.
It's a lot darker.
I actually like Carl probably more without the Wharton Burton Burger whatever Warburton tone.
Yeah, he was fine.
He sounds too old to me. Well, in the audiobook,
he's reading it like it's a comedy. Audiobook readers do different voices for different genres. He's reading it in comedy voice. So if you're an audiobook reader, you're listening to it in like comedy mode. I'm expecting comedy. I'm expecting satire. And then dark shit pops up and he does not change. He stays in comedy voice. And it ends up making me feel conflicted about how I'm supposed to feel. So it was a lot better. I think moving forward, I'll just read the books, even if it takes me longer, because I don't think I'm going to enjoy them if this guy reads them. Like a good example of someone who switches a lot is the Project Hail Mary reader, where he will, when it's a funny part, he reads it like it's funny. And when it's a really dramatic part, he reads it like it's dramatic. And so you're on the journey with the voice, with the character, because he's changing his voice. And this guy never does. And then all of his women sound the same.
Mm-hmm. And they're caricatures of women. And so that does take me out of it.
Yeah.
Well, wait till there's this one character. Oh my God, I'm thinking about this one character. There's one character that comes, I think, book 3. And I don't like her voice at all. I don't like the way they play her. I love her character. She's really funny, but it's another one of those, a bro wrote this book for sure. So, and I don't like the way her voice sounds because she sounds like a clown. Like when, like who gets to not be a clown lady? Amani is cool. Later on next book, there's another woman that she gets to be serious. But most of the women characters, especially the first time, are just like caricatures.
They're his chorus girls. That's what all the women are. Like even the woman that shows up and she's working for the corporation. The fish lady with the bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does get better as it goes. It gets deeper. The lore gets way bigger. The universe the dungeon gets way bigger. And there is a lot of change and character growth. And of course the scale consistently gets bigger. And of course everyone levels up and gets stronger and more powerful. But at the end of the day, Carl is protected,
Yeah. By literal plot armor and the AI.
Yeah, by the AI. AI has crushed.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I have to listen to any more achievement unlocked, I'll die. So I think it's probably best for me to move on. Because a couple of those were fine. And then, oh my God.
Oh, that's the whole book. That's the whole series.
No, but I think I can read it just fine. But it's the listening to the audiobook reader.
Well, now you have it in your mind. So you can just play it like that in your mind. Because I'm sure that's how your brain works. Probably not.
I don't remember it.
Because you don't sub-vocalize.
No.
You don't sub-vocalize.
No,
Damn.
Sorry. I don't hear it.
Yeah, I saw somebody else the other day say that it just turns to information in my brain. How is that possible? So interesting. I always love seeing comments where they say, I think this is just a miscommunication. No, it's your inability to perceive that other people's perception is that different from your own. It's not miscommunication. When I say I don't see images, I'm not talking about we're not miscommunicating the thing.
Yeah.
What's happening in my mind and what happens in Rachel's mind are very different
experiences.
Yeah. And that's just it. And it's okay. We don't have to I would love to take in the world via visual image, but I don't. But I have a constant monologue. I'm alone with myself all the time. I know Rachel's also jealous of me.
Yes. What would I do how do I cope without anyone in my head talking to me?
Without constantly talking to myself and crippling depression and anxiety. What would I do without constant rumination? Yeah, it just people. And so whenever I hear someone say, I think it's a miscommunication. No, your lack of imagination. You cannot imagine outside of yourself. Yeah. I fucking hate that.
And it's odd that it's prevalent in the reader community because that's the entire point of reading a book, which I was talking to because I have a friend who's reading another book series and she's been active on some of the forums for this book series.
What series?
And it's, oh God, you're going to ask me and I can't remember. Somebody's diary. Somebody's diary. I'll have to ask and I'll send it to you. But The point here is that there's a very clear relationship that's being set up. And so, of course, nobody likes the relationship that's being set up. Everybody wants the two secondary male characters, either one of them, to get with the girl and not the guy that's clearly her love interest. And so she was like, I don't understand. It's literally in the text. Why are we like bickering about this? This is clearly the person that she's supposed to have chemistry with. So like, I didn't write it. That's just how it is. And so literally she was running into situations where people were like, well, you don't have reading comprehension, or like, if you really think that they're going to get together, that tells me a lot about you and that kind of bullshit. And I was like, well, I've been thinking a lot about this. And I think one of the major things that are happening in the book community is you're getting a lot of people. So one of the things, not a criticism, but one of the one of the things that characterizes romantasy for me is that the main character is pretty flat. Like, or they're all the same character. So it's very easy for the reader to insert themselves into that character and to see themselves as that character. And so they have to be pretty flat because you have to be able to you have to be able to drop yourself into that character and bring what you bring to the world to the character. And that's the opposite of how I read books. I'm not in the book.
I'm not in the book either. I was just about to say, I am not in the book.
I'm no character. I'm here to experience it. You have to tell me what's happening. I don't bring anything to this party except observation. It's like watching a movie. I'm not in it. Except if you're the type of person that does, you are not getting outside of yourself. You're not experiencing the world from somebody else's perspective. You're inserting your perspective into the book. And that's why people have a hard time reading diverse authors, because they can't see themselves in a diverse cast. So they don't want to. So they just don't read it. And life experiences that are not yours, you don't like them because it's not reflective of who they are. So they can't put themselves in the book. They're not interested. And so they don't want this lady to be interested in her love interest because he has like a dark past. Well, they would never date somebody with a dark past. So we can't date that person because I never would. And so you end up, it's the opposite of opening yourself. It's literally like finding echo chambers to insert yourself into. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And not having the ability to connect to the larger picture of what the art even is. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do not read books to be a character in the books. I read them to I'm not watching, but I'm experiencing. I'm feeling really. I'm feeling along with everybody. Also, what you just said about there was a point I wanted to back you up on. This. Oh, I think that all stories are a gift from the creator and the author. It's a gift. We should be grateful for it.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you what to do with your story. You get to tell me, and anything I read it, if I enjoy it, that's a gift.
Yeah.
And I don't care enough. Now, do I love pattern recognition? Do I love I'm an Aquarius. Of course I love to be right. Of course I love to be able to say, this is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
But so often, especially in today's world, the author doesn't know what's going to happen because the author's paying attention to what people on the internet are saying. So if their original plan for a story had been such and such and such and such, and then they find out that people thought that might have been what happened, they may change what would happen. But I do love when I'm reading a book, nothing feels more satisfying to me than reading a book where what happened is what I saw coming. That makes me feel great. I love that. I'm like, this is the best. Oh, I saw the twist coming? I'm smart. That's how it makes me feel.
Right. But you're just there to experience it.
I'm just there to experience.
Right.
Yeah. And so there is this, well, we have to make everything a moral story. Everything's ethical. Everything is, what you like is who you are. It's your identity. And if it isn't what I also think and I don't identify with that opinion, if that opinion makes me who I am, right?
Yeah.
And so people get so defensive and it's just so ugly.
Well, I've seen it as that's what happens when you leave religion, but you don't uninstall the religious software. So you delete the top level of like Christianity and identifying with, aspects of Christianity as part of who you are and as part of what informs your personality. And so you leave a gap because you haven't deconstructed any of the thinking process that you learned if you grew up religious. And so all you do is cherry pick new new people to put in that power vacuum. So of course you think this book series informs who you are, and it says a lot about how you about your morality, because you think that that's a thing. Like you need a new religion, and you
Right.
plug in fandom
I think
instead.
I think there's also something about something I've noticed in some of the fandoms that I'm actively watching and paying attention to. There's something about like the evil resand thing. I'm sorry to go back to that every
No,
single
it's fine.
time. But I saw this one lady and she was so certain that Resand was the worst human being that's ever lived. I'm so sorry. The worst fae that has ever been in this fictional universe. And I'm just like, that is just not my experience with that character. And she was so adamant about it and would like yell and scream on the internet about it. I don't know. Yeah, people get really into it.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to have something. You got to have a moral stance about something, and it can't be Christianity because we left that. So we got to plug something new in, and
Right.
it's wild. And I get tired of series where you have to read the first 3 for it to start getting good. And I have to say, if I was reading this and it was just me, I don't know that I would have gone on to book 2.
And we don't have to if we don't want to. We
No,
don't
I
have
mean,
to.
I'm interested in seeing what happens in 2. I think I'm willing to give Carl book 2 because the ending was so much stronger than the beginning. But I think it would have helped me a lot. I think it's great that he was an indie author and he got picked up, and that he probably has a lot more help and editing and support for the later books. And that's
Yeah, these
probably why
books are
they're a lot
doing
better.
these books are doing really well.
But I wish he had somebody to work with him on the tone. I know I keep going back to the tone, but like, it's okay to have an unlikable main character, but I think we're supposed to like
Especially
Carl.
when they're a man.
I think we're supposed to like Carl, and I would feel a lot better.
Carl. I like Carl.
Well, you like Carl now, and I think you
Yeah.
like, yeah. But reading through this the first time, yeah,
Oh,
he's
first chapter, I was like, oh, there's the misogyny.
yeah, he's a misogynist asshole. And if I knew this was his starting point, like if you gave this as, you could have just given me a foreword that's like Carl from later, where he's talking about like, I didn't realize who I was when I started, or like going back and looking at, records from my past, whatever, like just something so I know I'm not going to live here. It would have helped me to set aside how I felt about Carl informed a lot of the first part of the book for me, because he did feel very, I'm a bro. I can't feel feelings. I could just punch stuff. And like, that's him for the.
My girlfriend went to the Bahamas with her ex. We're not going to talk about it. I don't do drama.
I don't do drama. And then every time Donut would bring up something where she was like, oh, like that guy that came over when you were at the gym. And he'd be like, she was cheating on me, because he keeps learning more and more about how much she was cheating on him and how terrible of a person she was.
Right.
And it's
then you've got Donut, who's this actually, she turns into a lady.
Yeah.
Right. And she's an actually deep and meaningful, caring person. So it's like, you do have Donut. I love how she catches him in all these little moments. Like, I knew you were going to take me.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to take me. You were going to steal me. You were looking. I knew you were going to do that. She calls him out on his bullshit.
Oh, because he's looking for apartments that allow pets.
He was going to take her. Yeah. And she knew the whole time. One of my favorite parts is when she's like, "Oh, of course, Carl, I threw up on your pillow." And he was like, "I knew it." And like, you just get all of these. Or Ferdinand. There are all these little things. Like, who's Ferdinand? None of your business.
Yeah.
And he is, reading it again, he is dropping so much lore that's really important in the first book. So he did have an idea where some stuff was going. Or maybe he just pulled it up and went with it later on. But it's a great reread, because once you know where they're going to start again and see the beginning, seeing them grind, does feel like a grind for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, the middle section of this was a slog.
Yeah.
It was fine, but it was a slog. And
Right.
and I'm interested in seeing book 2. Now that he hits his stride right towards the end. And so now I'm ready to be like, okay, what's happening next?
Yeah,
Because
and
once Carl starts working in the system, like when he goes on that one and he's like, okay, so I can't leave and I can't talk bad about the company, but does anything say I can't fuck with this guy? And they're like, no, nothing in your contract says you can't fuck with this guy. And he's like, cool. And so then he does.
he's a you little pork boy to the red pill guy. That's what he is to me.
Yeah. So
I was like, oh, that's like the Joe Rogan of, well, maybe not Joe Rogan, maybe one of those terrible, terrible guys.
Yeah. Well, what's the Lux Maxer or whatever?
Clavicula.
Clavicular. Yeah.
My God, he's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
have you watched any of his stuff?
No, I don't.
Are your kids, has Penny found her way onto like a dark internet? I feel like she would do that.
No, she's so locked down on what she can go on.
Okay.
She's
just so smart.
This is a very impressionable age, and I know it is. And like, let's find out who we are before people start telling us who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've talked about it. I think you liked it. At 1 out of 10, where are we?
It's not that high right now, but only because I feel like the info dumping was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
The misogyny was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
The Carl just living the unexamined life for a very long period in this book was really challenging.
Oh, I was going to say another thing too is I saw this video recently, and I want to remember to connect this back to my thought right here. I saw this video recently, and it's all of these young people on a boat, and the waves are getting really bad. And the women are like, we need to go in. Because instinctually they know how dangerous what's happening is, and they don't like it. It's not fun for them. They're not having a good time. And the guys for like 3 or 4 minutes are like, we're having so much fun. We're just going to fight the waves. And they don't listen to the women.
Yeah.
They're just stop talking, oh, you're just scared. Blah, 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 blah. Well, they end up flipping the boat and all being in incredible danger. And it was such a great micro moment of how a woman's intuition works and how men are just like kind of not paying attention until it's too late.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's just how they're doing through life.
They're doing through life.
Because we're thinking of so many things at one time. And I think they have said this about the difference in the sexes is that biologically women's brains are meant to, and I don't know, maybe it is taught, maybe, I don't know. But we are thinking about 10 things at one time. What do you mean you can't have a boyfriend and a partner and have a good job? What do you mean? What do you mean you can't do this, that, this, and that? What do you mean you can only do one thing? So maybe they are just so one track that they're just not. And that reminds me of Carl, because he's not paying attention to anything else except for that day. So he doesn't have the introspection that we would have, right? The red flags, the intuition, like, although he does start to experience the intuition, it's not until he taps into that. Let us also say that's part of his character. He had an incredibly abusive father. And I think that is in this book.
I think it's alluded to, but I don't think we spend a lot of time with it.
So we're getting this image of this guy who's had this incredibly abusive, emotionally abusive father. And we do get some of that because it'll say, like the time my dad and his buddies were killing squirrels, or like the time my dad left my mom, or my mom left my dad. And we get this image of this man. It's never a mother problem. It's always a daddy issue that creates these inability to connect to your vulnerability and your intuition.
I think I could have stomached Carl if the thing that I was rolling along with Carl, and then we hit the Hispanic lady, and we lingered on like she had her sweatpants were too small and her butt was hanging out, and it was just like we hit a lot of triggers all at once, where we had like the dirty non-white character who's fat and gross and covered in bugs, and she's speaking, and this is the first time that another language isn't translated immediately for him, and he kills her right away. And I was like, he doesn't run around, he doesn't try to come up with another strategy, he's just like, well, I'll murder her, and he does. And that would have been like, I could have gotten through that if afterwards he had a moment where he was like, oh my God, is this really what's going to happen? And I know they keep going back to like, well, he was in the military. But I struggled with that. And I would have gotten through it a lot easier, I think, if I knew this isn't the Carl I'm going to live with for this whole book. But I had no reassurance that that the next one wasn't going to be like a black guy who can't swim or something. Like it was.
Oh God, Jesus.
That's what it felt like to me.
I think 2 of those in a row would have gotten this book. It wouldn't be the book. It wouldn't have made it. Yeah.
No. But you know what? That's what it felt like to me when she popped. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? In the year of our Lord?"
Yeah, in the year of our Lord, what's going on in this country? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in 2020, he didn't know where we'd be today and how. I know. I totally agree. I mean, my first reading it, I was like, I'm having a good time with this, but I'm also really aware of how much I dislike the way he's writing about certain things.
And I know that there's a time where that would have been like, we just watched Crazy Stupid Love because we're on a journey through Ryan Gosling's entire filmography. So we watched Crazy Stupid Love, and it's so problematic. Like, I was watching it like, oh, this is...
Oh, with Steve Carell?
Yes. Yeah. Where there's the 2 characters, like his son and then the babysitter. And the son is in love with the babysitter. And the babysitter is in love with Steve Carell.
I know.
And she ends up taking nude photos. And at the very end, she gives the nude photos to the little boy. And she's like, find me when you graduate high school.
That's called grooming.
And he's like, she clearly tells him multiple times, I'm not in love with you. I don't like you like that. Please leave me alone. And she catches him masturbating to a picture of her. And then everyone's like, well, if it's your true love, you don't give up. You don't give up if it's your true love. It was
written by men, and rape culture is just ingrained in who they are. Gosh, I hope that doesn't get me in trouble. Not all men. Not all men. But you know what I mean? Keep trying. That's non-consent.
Yeah.
Non-consent.
She told you don't no. Let it go.
You don't like easy women? Oh, you like women that withhold consent?
Yeah. It was a hard watch.
Oh, only women who withhold consent are valuable? Okay. Yeah. It's fucked up, man.
But that's what it felt like reading this book. It felt like a throwback to that style of humor. And but again, he hits his stride. He hits his stride literally 75% into the book. And then the last 25%, I was like, okay. When he's working with people and they're working to defeat that like swine ball, which is problematic afterwards, but he does have a moment. I love that he puts everything in his inventory because that's how I play video games. And then I use nothing. I just have everything in my inventory. Just in case. Yeah. And he's like,
I don't know how I play because I can't play video games.
You might actually like Baldur's Gate because there's no speed involved. You have time to figure out.
Is that the one that has, I don't know, maybe.
Asterion?
Well, that fine guy, but also the lady, is that the game where the guy wore the pot on his head and the diaper and he ran around and he helped?
That's Elden Ring, I think.
Okay. I also think that game looks fun, but only because of that guy.
Baldur's Gate plays exactly like Dungeons and Dragons, where you pick out your spell, you cast it, and then it rolls dice to decide whether or not it's successful.
Do you get to watch it roll dice?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
And
so if you get like, oh, wow, that sounds really fun.
And you get like turns at the top where it'll show you whose turn it is, and it will scroll through the turn order for you. and you can like set up turn. You can put people out in your party, and you can.
So you play
like-
with other people, or is there a
No,
solo
It's
mode?
solo. Yeah, you're just playing by yourself, but you can put your different characters out because different characters have different abilities. Like Asterian's a rogue.
Yeah.
Whatever. Asterian's getting a backstory book written by T. Kingfisher, who's in North Carolina. She's a North Carolina author who lives in Pittsburgh.
Neat.
Yeah,
That's really neat.
I'm really excited about it. She's
What
really
kind of
good.
books does she normally write?
She writes redone fairy tales where she'll make up her own fairy tales, or she'll do twisted fairy tales. And she also has a series
Wait,
that's like
does she do Hooked?
she does not do spicy books.
Oh, never mind. Oh, you should have led with that, Rachel.
You're like, oh no, she
What's
does
her
books.
name? Kingfisher?
T. Kingfisher.
Kingfisher, like from that fucking book that you did not read because you would have been so mad if I asked you to read that book.
Was
You'll
that the
never have-
Quicksilver one?
God, you never have to, Rach. We'll never go there.
Unless you want to see me just be really ragey.
I have been reading so many terrible romantasy books lately, and I sometimes when I'm reading them, I'm like, this can never be in Rachel's present.
I've been making my way through Discworld.
She would be so upset. Discworld? What's that?
Terry Pratchett's like
heard.
Yeah, his satire series. It's really good. I've been really enjoying it.
Oh, neat. Okay, sweet. Paladin's Grace.
And I did start fifth season.
Yeah.
Which you recommended to me forever ago, and I finally picked it up.
It's going to be one of the best fantasy books you've ever read. Maybe not. You'll hate it. You'll hate it. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
It's okay.
You're going to hate it.
I did like the second person part where the lady's mourning her child. And so it's like you sit there, you're not sure what to do with yourself. And I was like, oh, I love it when we changed like perspective to create an emotional impact. I was like, oh, I really like this.
Yeah, wait for it. It's so thick and heavy and so creative and such a unique and amazingly thought out, wonderful world.
And I've been
You're going to have you're going to hate it. Sorry, I keep trying to.
No, you can tell me I'm going to like it. It's okay.
Well, I don't want to trigger your oppositional defiance.
I mean, everybody else has said it's really good. So I don't have high hopes because I try not to have high hopes because then I have too high of a standard. But if I just go into it blank.
I don't know, that book won like major awards.
I know she's done. She's won a lot. I am also working through the Dark Materials.
Oh yeah, I've read those all several times.
Yeah, I don't know if coming to them as an adult is the way.
I did not come to them as an adult.
No, I think you have to read them as a kid.
When I first read them and then read them as an adult.
Fucking wild.
And the first time I read them, it won a Hugo Award. That's not like lightly given out.
No.
Yeah, and so did. No. Well, and I haven't read Obelisk Gate or Stone Sky. So when you're done with that, if you're looking to go into the sequels, let me know.
Okay.
Maybe I'll read that. Maybe I'll read that. You can read that.
Well, I'll read Carl too for next time. I think we can keep going on Carl.
Okay, we'll give Carl another go.
If we end up needing a break, we're 2 Murderbot books behind now.
Are we? Okay.
Yep.
I also read this really great book that I think you would actually like called The Raven Scholar. It was really nice. Then there was this other book called Blood Over Brighthaven that I think you might.
You said that one was good. You were suggesting that one before.
I feel like you wouldn't hate it. Those might be the same author. Hold on a second.
I do think I'm going to have to be like strong-armed into another romantasy, at least for a little bit, because
well, bitch, you better get it together because we got 2 ACOTAR books coming out. So October, and I can do that one by myself. I can talk by myself.
You were like, you can just be present.
You can be present and just agree with everything I say, but we're doing them in October, and then there's another one that comes out in January. You will not. I'll make my own. I'll make my own damn. I'll send it to you.
Really back to back?
Two books.
Wow.
I told you. You didn't listen.
You
It's
said you were
okay.
putting out 2, but I didn't realize they were coming out like within 4 months of each other.
Yes. Yes. And I have rented a literal
Cottage. You told me about
cottage
it.
to read the second
And then
book.
that showed up on my Instagram of that
You're welcome.
cottage where they
The
were
Vaughn
painting.
house.
They were painting little fairy feet around, like it was
I
walking
got
around.
her a fairy lamp. I'm gonna take her a fairy lamp. Speaking of fairy lamps, though I collect those. Have I
do
told you
not
that?
know what fairy lamps are.
Hold please. Hold please.
Okay.
Pause for silence. You can cut this out.
Okay.
These are my ladies.
Okay.
Just a few of them. A fairy lamp is a little piece of glass like this
Mm-hmm.
that you can put a candle in,
Oh, okay.
and it burns at the top.
I gotcha.
This is my most expensive one. It's also my smallest one. This one was $70. Then there's this one. I got this one for $10 from Habitat.
Oh, nice.
It's probably worth $150. And then there's this one. I have 2 of these. I'm gonna give the Vaughn lady one of these, my glass one. But
Okay,
you
just your cut crystal.
but you burn. They're specifically for burning real candles in them.
For like little tea lights.
Yeah. Or a
Nice.
bigger. You could do a little bit bigger. But when I started collecting them, I don't think I've ever paid more. The most expensive one I've paid for is $70. But you cannot get them for under $150 because they have become so sought after. And it's, I'm not going to say it's annoying because I found them on the internet as well. And but my perfect one, my dream fairy lamp is this. There's this company called Fenton, and they make beautiful glass.
Yeah.
And also
I know Fenton glass.
And also Indiana glass. Indiana makes them too. There's this one that's this like black iridescent.
Isn't that called carnival glass? When it's iridescent?
Maybe. Sounds right. Maybe. But it looks like a dragon egg. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And but they're really fun to find in the wild. Like where they're not supposed to be. Like
Yeah.
a baddie died and sent everything to the thrift store. And I see people online find them all the time. And I love that for them. And I'm so jealous. But this one egg, or this, not an egg, this one fairy lamp, if I saw it, I would cry. But there's like $400. They've gotten very expensive.
Wow.
Anyways, these are my ladies. I love them. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 right now. So, but I haven't bought one in a long time because the prices have gone up so much.
Yeah. I hate it when the thing you love, everybody else. Which
Also
is fine.
loves. Yeah, it's fine.
It's my inner hipster every once in a while just flares up and is like, no, I liked that before it was cool. You guys can't like it now.
Well, I didn't like it before it was cool. I just liked it before it was like mass cool. I'm not the first. I'm always like in the middle of the beginning.
Gotcha.
So I've never been as cool as you.
Not that cool.
I mean, I think people who have really niche things that no one else likes are really fucking cool. But I think that's the influence of the hipster on me. I still value the hipster value.
I liked the seeking after newness, like the seeking after novel, interesting things.
Yeah.
That was the thing about hipster culture that I love. Not the gatekeeping the cool thing, but the like, hey, this movie that nobody watches anymore, I found it and it's really like, we've been making our way through Ryan Gosling's filmography and we just watched a movie called Stay that he's in with Ewan McGregor. And it's like the year after he's in The Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got like 3 stars or something. It's terribly rated. It's a beautiful movie. It's beautiful. It's interesting. It's weird. The transitions are all amazing. you don't know what's happening at any point in the movie until the very end. Like, don't look it up. If you're gonna watch it, just find it and watch
How
it.
did you
Don't
find it? Where did you find it?
just in his film, like in the list on IMDb. And I was
But
like,
like,
oh, Ewan McGregor is in this.
where'd you
I
stream it? Do you remember? I can't just buy it. I'll rent
yeah,
it tonight or
I think
something.
it
That
is
sounds good.
available. It's not so obscure you can't find it, but it's got such a low rating everywhere that it's like. And I just think it's got a low rating because it's one of those movies where you don't know what's happening until you have to be in it till the very end to figure out what's going on. And
I kind of love that though. That means that like my pattern recognition won't kick in and
I
I'll be
didn't
surprised.
I didn't know it was happening until I was like, oh, that's okay, wow. And like, don't look anything up because
And
Google is
it surprised you too.
yeah, and Google
Ugh.
will immediately spoil it. So don't just try to find it and put it on. Don't read anything about it.
Speaking of Google spoiling it, Google is running like AI notifications now, and it spoiled the end. Did I tell you this? It spoiled
Mm-mm.
Peaky Blinders for me,
Oh
like
wow.
it was a news. Like a movie came out and it announced that what happened in the movie, it announced it like the fucking news.
You can put I think it's minus AI at the end of your search.
Yeah, I got to because I hate the AI. I hate the AI. Hey, are you a graphic designer?
I can design graphically. I would not say I'm a graphic designer.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask
Only
you a question.
because I don't keep up with trends.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I'll ask you off pod.
Well, this was good.
Yeah.
It was nice catching up. And
Yeah,
it's kind of fun to talk about other books we've been reading too, because sometimes it takes so long for us to get back to it. I've read a couple.
Quarterly. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of books too. I'm reading this one book right now that's terrible, but I'm going to keep going. It's called Fairy yeah. But I'm really excited for you to read the 5th season. I think it's going to be a big Rachel book. So I'm excited to hear what you think of it.
Yeah. I need to finish.
I mean, she's just so good. Her writing it's one of those books when you're reading it, you're like, oh, this is what they mean by like prolific writing.
Yeah. Like,
and then I'm like, let me go read Akatar again. Let me get with my 6th grade reading level. Woo-hoo,
I've been reading
having a good time.
I've been reading Animorphs with the kids because it was like my favorite. It was my favorite. And I forgot how dark those get and how quickly. And I think somebody just picked it up to make a new TV show. And the like headline was acquires the most out of pocket scholastic series from the 90s. And I was like, God, how crazy it was. Like, anyway, K.A. Applegate went on to be like a child award-winning, like early grade fiction writer. She wrote The One and Only Ivan. She wrote like Crenshaw. She wrote all these really beautiful early, and if I'm having a hard time getting out of a reading rut, I'll read elementary fiction. Because a lot of times people are writing beautiful things in elementary fiction, but you don't see them because they're on like kids' shelf. And so like Kate DiCamillo is one of my favorite authors. She only writes elementary fiction. And she writes like The Tale of Despero about this.
Oh, the little mouse.
The little mouse and like
with the needle.
And there's a rat whose heart breaks and it heals. But she's like, sometimes when your heart's broken and it heals, it's never quite the same. And so it has a hard time loving because its heart was broken and it healed, but it didn't fully heal. And it's like this really beautiful. She has all these really. She has the Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, which is one of my favorite books. And that's the one where it's like a porcelain rabbit, and it's not an anthropomorphic. Like it can't move, it can't speak. It's just a doll.
I think I've read that book.
And you follow it through,
but
like
as a kid.
It's real, and you read it again now. It's beautiful because by the end of it, like the porcelain rabbit doesn't want to love anymore because it's like, why everyone I love just leaves me.
The boy left it, right?
Well, it gets thrown over the side of a cruise ship, and then it ends up washing up on the shore, and like a fisherman gets it.
Oh, this is like a little kid's book.
Yeah,
I've definitely read this book.
Yeah, like a fisherman gets it and he takes it to his wife because his wife is sad, and so
Oh
the
my
wife
god,
makes clothes for it.
these pictures. Oh my god, I feel like a kid. I
It's
remember this
so
book.
good. It's so
Yeah,
good. And then it ends up in like a doll shop. And all the other
yeah,
dolls are like, "Well, don't you want to be adopted?" And he's like, "No, I don't want anybody else because they just leave me." And the doll's
yeah.
like, "Yeah, sometimes, but you're not going to feel love if you don't. Like, isn't it worth it?"
Love comes from within.
It's good. It's a good
Yeah.
book. Anyway, I guess I don't know how I got there.
You know what
I'll plug Kate DiCamillo every day of the week.
you know what my favorite kids book was? East o' the Sun, West o' the Moon. Did you ever read that?
No, I didn't.
Look it up and look at the pictures of it. It's wild. There's this one picture. My sister was trying to describe it. She was like, "What was that book where there was a really evil goblin thing?" And I was like, "Well, I know exactly what you're talking about." It was West of the Sun, East of the Sun, West of the Moon, and it was when this goblin was trying to clean tallow out of her dress. Anyways, I knew exactly what, and we ordered the book because
Yeah.
I was like, and I loved that book. Anyways,
There was a book that I read as a kid that I could not remember the title of. I could only remember like a portion of one of the stories. And it turns out it was a short story anthology by this one author, and it's called Slice of the Rainbow. And all I could remember was this story about this character, and she's like a princess, and her mother and father leave, and they leave her her cat in charge of her. And so she cuts its whiskers off. And it turns out it's her fairy godmother, and it's going to take like I forget how long, like 99 months or something for the whiskers to grow back. So in the meantime, her hair screams at her all the time and no one else can hear it, only her, and it tells her like terrible things about herself. And the only time it doesn't is when somebody is like reading to her or playing her music or reading her poetry. And she can't.
so it's a book about quieting your mind with creativity.
Yeah. And I
Wow.
was like, "Oh, okay." And she ends up like every time she cuts her hair, it just grows right back, so she can't get rid of it. And so she starts using it to like give gifts to people because she has an infinite supply of it. And so she like fixes everything on her island with the hair that won't go away. And it's anyway, I was like, wow, that was in a kid's book that I read as a kid. And there's another one called When a Monster Calls, and I think they made a movie out of it. And it's this little boy and his mom is in the hospital. She's dying of cancer. And this tree comes to life and comes to his window and is
Oh,
like,
I remember this movie.
I'm going to tell you 3 stories and then you have to tell me something true. And so it tells him 3 stories and then he has to try to say something true. And it's sometimes I wish my mom would just die. And the tree is like, that's okay. It's okay to feel like that. That's okay to want it to be over. And I was like, this is a elementary fiction kids book about how sometimes grief makes you think crazy things and that's okay.
I mean, The Land Before Time, bro. Like,
don't even get me started on I told you growing up.
The Brave Little Toaster.
No, The Brave Little Toaster is a horror movie. We have a whole episode about it.
Fern Gully. He forgot his glasses. He can't see without his glasses. You know that movie, right?
Yeah. Are you talking about The Mummy? Because that's
no, My Girl. My Girl.
Oh, My Girl. Oh my God. Well, those were all the ones when we were a kid.
Yeah, because for some reason you had to. Kids couldn't have parents in movies.
No, and everything had to be traumatizing.
And everything had to be really sad so that you could learn early on that that's just how fucking life is. So that you could learn really early on that when you graduate college and the entire economy falls, that's just how life is. Or when the pandemic happens, that's just how life is. Or when you...
If only sexy Tim Curry as the personification of pollution would show up, I feel like it would solve a lot of problems. Yeah.
That is not Tim Curry's best role, and you know it.
It's the best role in Fern Gully.
It is the best role in Fern Gully, absolutely.
Thank you.
But
yeah.
The Darkness is
well, that's That's different.
I felt my body change.
I love Lord Darkness.
I literally was like, why would you pick that short fucker over there when that thing is waiting for you right there? When she is dancing around in that dark dress, I'm like,
How come nobody cosplays the dress?
My body is making a really funny feeling in my eyes. Mommy, what is this bubble? I truly remember being taken back. Wow. Jeez Louise.
You want to talk about being a hipster? You were the original monster fucker? You were like that guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
That's literally the first time I felt something. And also in Last of the Mohicans, when I was 8 years old, the brother and the sister, that was the first adult romance I ever saw on screen. And they never speak to each other. And they love each other so much they die at the end. And I think that is where my lore of only really liking the side characters and the love stories on the side started.
That's fair.
Because that movie had such a big impact on me. I mean, come on. He doesn't talk. And that's my favorite kind of man.
Like, just stand there and be
No
pretty.
opinions, just fighting and protecting and loving. Perfect.
Yeah.
No asininery.
All right. I feel like this is probably a good.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, there's no apology. This is
devolution.
Fine. The people know what they're getting.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, thank you, Rachel. We will do Dungeon Crawler Carl 2, which is called something. Second one next time.
The second one, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hot in here, or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.